water. But if you want any kind of props, grab them. And as always, yeah, it's the witching hour, so we're doing our thing. But as always, this is your yoga. You can add, you can take away, you can move stuff around. Whatever you want to do is really what is feeling good. And the quality of the breath, how deeply we are breathing, that's what says, this is yoga. So if you are sitting on something, you can grab your blanket or you can grab your pillow and just sit on it. It'll lift the hips just enough to let your knees and ankles relax a little bit. So you can come to seated in some way that you feel comfortable. Let your hands rest just right down on the thighs. You can close the eyes, start to settle in here. It's Saturday. Maybe smiles naturally happen as we think of what is good, what is amazing right now. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths together. We'll inhale through the nose, and it's a ha or a sigh through the mouth. Let's do 2 more. Big, full belly breath in. That ha as you feel the shoulders soften. Deep inhale. Ah, release on the exhale. You can let your lips softly close as you continue breathing in and out through your nose. Just start to rock your hips. You'll move a little bit forward and back. As the time goes on, you'll notice that the spine starts to round and then extend. So you're really just making those cat and cow-like shapes as we're seated, that rocking. Eventually you can use your hands if you love. When you start to roll back, really use the hands on the knees and almost lean back. And then as you press your chest forward, you'll feel that opening when you press your hands on the legs. So keep moving. You can let the eyes stay closed, hopefully for most of the time. And I'll do my best to guide you with my voice so that you can let this feel internal. You can let this feel good. And you can keep this forward and back, or if you want to make some circles, take a pause next time you come to the back area. Yeah, your back, your spine lifts. And then exhale, you'll rotate over your left knee and around to the right. So just circles with the spine. You can let the jaw really loosen up here. Notice that the neck and head just rolls right around, coming along for the ride. The next time that your torso comes down over towards your ankles, take a little pause, give a little sway from side to side, and then we'll go 3 circles in the other direction. Move probably a little slower than you think. Keep breathing deeply as you move. And then the next time the torso comes down over the ankles, lift here. We'll lift just halfway. And then scoot or shimmy the hands forward and relax the head and neck. Some people, yes, you'll be able to get your forehead down onto the mat. If that's nowhere near you, don't worry about it. Just relax the head. So if your head isn't touching anything, give that nod, give that shake from side to side so you can loosen your neck. And as we inhale, we'll lift our chest. We'll reach the arms out and up. Take a nice big circle open with the arms. And exhale, your hands will come down through the middle. Pause at that vision center. Pause at your heart center. And hands come down by the sides. You can move your pillow out of the way if you have one, and we'll come into a tabletop shape. Let the front of your mat, whatever you're choosing to be the front of your mat, be forward. Let your wrists go right under the shoulders. And let's keep that fluid motion in the spine. Take an exhale and round the spine. From here, go ahead and tuck the chin. And as you breathe in, the belly will drop down, your chin will lift. You'll keep moving however you love in this tabletop and allow the breath to start to be the guide. If Ujjayi, if that more victorious pranayama or breathing practice is in your wheelhouse, it's something you're already working with, then start to input those sounds. Notice every time I coil, it's an out breath. And every time I expand the collarbones, it's an in breath. If you'd like to add any hip circles or whatever you love, I think everyone is friends here. We all know the free movement is my thing. So whatever you love, do that now. Let the neck and head really be relaxed. And when you start feeling complete, you'll find some stillness. You can walk or slide your hands forward, maybe 6 inches or so. Curl the toes under. Let's lift the hips. We'll go right into our first downward facing dog, but bend the knees a lot. Really let the depth happen so that the hamstrings feel nice and loose. Take an inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes, and then bend your left knee. Your right heel will release a little bit. Inhale on tippy toes. And exhale to change sides. Inhale, you're gazing towards your own thighs. And you're pedaling your feet with most intention. One more full breath as you bend right. One more full breath as you bend left knee. Inhale, let's lift up to tippy toes. Take an exhale and start to slide the hands back, back, and back. Eventually, we'll be folded at the back of our mat. As you inhale, lift up halfway. Let your hands support the legs. Separate the feet, probably wider than the hips. Exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down, and start to shimmy and sway from side to side. Always you can reach for the ragdoll if you like. Putting some weight, the interlacing of your hands right to the back of your head. Always you could add a little deeper twisting if you like those kinds of shapes. We'll have 5 breaths, moving how you love. If you're thinking, ooh, yes, deeper twisting, it would be one hand down right in front of the face. And if you're going left hand first, you'll open to the right. And if you're thinking that feels really nice, then you'll do that on both sides. Come back into the ragdoll whenever you're finished playing, or always reaching opposite elbows to opposite hands. Let's take an exhale, release the hands to the mat. Inhale to lift halfway, shimmy your feet under your hips. Take an exhale, fold a little deeper. You can keep the knees bent. I know it's early. Inhale, lift halfway. Always we can support here. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Soften your head. In breath, this is that last half lift, ardha. Exhale, fold. Lift the belly. It'll help you fold a little deeper. On this next breath cycle, we'll start to come up to standing. You can circle the arms out and up. Big open circle. Exhale as your hands come right down through the center line, marrying the sides of the body. You can pause at the heart center. Hands will come down by the sides. Roll your shoulders back and down, feeling open. That intention, whether it's some big, huge thing or even some small, soft intention, just peace and happy Saturday mornings. Feel that thing, one big breath. Flicker the eyes open if they're closed. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. You'll gaze towards your own thumbs. Exhale, big fold all the way down. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, as your hands come down, you'll crawl if your mat's really sticky, or slide the hands forward, coming into a high plank pose. Gaze right over the edge of your mat. You'd like to keep the back of the neck really long. The thighs are on. This shape really is about the legs. Take an exhale, downward facing dog. As the hips go high, you'll start to soften little by little. You can always keep a bend in the knee. Inhale, let's gaze forward. And exhale, you can step, or if you like the hops, as you breathe out, you'll lightly hop the feet to the top. So stepping or hop. Lift halfway. Exhale, nice big fold. All the way down we go. Take an inhale as we circle the arms out and up. Big open circle. Exhale, hands right down through the center line. We find that ease. Peace as we breathe out, the hands down by the sides. Inhale, it's the reaching and rising, so arms go out and up. Exhale, big fold, lift your belly, feel that internal heat. Inhale, halfway lifting. Exhale, plant your hands down. We'll step our left foot way back. You have your right foot forward, and you're in a runner's lunge. You can move around in this first runner's lunge, straightening that right leg, rebending your right knee. If you need a little more space like me, you can bump up onto the fingertips, or this would be a good place for blocks under the hands. As you exhale, find that rebending of your right knee. Your left hand will plant right under your left shoulder. As you exhale, you'll open your right arm as you twist open to the right side. Now you'll be away from the camera, but exhale and open twist. The gaze will lift up to the ceiling. Next breath out, your hand comes down. Your right leg steps back. You're in high plank pose. Take an exhale as you lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a full breath cycle as you notice, where can I lift? You could lift thighs a little more, lift belly a little more. These are not easy choices. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees a lot, and exhale, you're stepping the feet forward or travel, that light little hopping forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale as you fold. We're going a little deeper each time we fold. Breathe in as we come all the way up. Big circle up. Exhale, pull that energy into the center line. Hands down by the side. Full breath in and out. Just feel the feet planting. We're rising up all the way from the roots. Breathe in. Circle your arms out and up. We're taking that big open circle. Exhale, pour your body over your legs as you fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Take an exhale, your hands will come down. Your right foot will step back. You're in a runner's lunge with your left foot forward. Start to straighten your left knee. Rebend your left knee. Any bouncing or any moving, shimmying that you love that starts to awaken those energy channels in the back of the leg, you can do those things. Exhale, rebend your left knee. Your right hand plants right under the shoulder. Inhale, left arm starts to reach straight up into the air. Your gaze will follow that top thumb. This will keep you stable. This will keep you breathing deeply. Exhale as your left hand comes down to the mat really slow. Start to slide your left foot back. There's your high plank. Exhale for downward facing dog. We've been here before. Relax the head and neck. The yoga practice is the union of breath and movement. Notice, am I still breathing after we get moving a little faster? Gaze forward. Bend the knees. It's that hopping. We've hopped if you love it. Or that stepping the feet forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Feel the lift in the belly. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, circle out and up with the arms. We're rising up. Adding on here, bring your hands down to the low back. You can bend your knees. Take an inhale to lift your chest. This is the first back bend of the day. Let it be really, really soft. Exhale, fold. Slide the hands down the backs of your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands will lower down. You'll step your left foot back. You're in that runner's lunge. Straighten your right leg just one time here. So straighten it a little more if you can. And rebend your right knee. Strong left leg. Left hand will plant down. Inhale to reach your right arm open. You're taking that deep twisting shape. Exhale, you'll lower your right hand. You can always bump up on the fingertips. Gaze forward just a little, right over your mat. The in-breath will now reach your arms up. Feel the power in your front leg. Ooh, exhale, soften in the shoulders. Exhale as two hands lower down onto the mat. You'll step your right foot back to meet the left. You're in this high plank pose. If you love vinyasa, you know you can do anything you love. If you're with me, I'm lowering knees down, chest and chin down, but notice how the elbows stay pulled in. Inhale, slither forward, little baby cobra. It doesn't have to be this huge lift. Exhale, press into your hands and find downward facing dog. You're just riding that breath wave. Soften in the shoulders as you press into your hands. The breath really is moving through your entire body. See if you can connect with that. One full inhale. Stay for the exhale. Gaze forward on your breath in, bend the knees and step or hop forward on the breath out. It's a halfway lift as we inhale. It's a fold as we exhale. Really feel the depth here. Inhale, circling the arms. We're going out and up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down to the low back. Breathe in to lift. Find that back bending, not too deep. We'll get there, don't worry. Exhale, fold all the way down we go. Hands down our legs. Inhale, we lift halfway. Take an exhale. Your hands will come down to the mat. You'll step your right foot back. You can bump up onto the fingertips. Straighten in that left leg. Exhale, rebend your front left knee. Right hand will come down. Take an in-breath to reach your left arm up. You're opening this twist a little deeper each time. Breathe out. Your left hand lowers down. Breathe in. Notice how you start to get really powerful in the back leg and reach the arms up. That slow moving, that slow opening into your Anjaneya. This is your crescent shape. It's as though there's a piece of paper between our thighs here. So both thighs are turning on. We're almost squeezing them together. Exhale, let your hands lower down. Let your left foot glide or step back. You're in high plank. We'll go another cycle of knees down, chest and chin down. Inhale, a little slither forward onto the baby cobra. Take the weight out of the hands. Exhale, press into the hands, downward facing dog. Always you can take child's pose here if you love. Two fists. Stacking will give you the opportunity to release your head a little bit if it doesn't usually touch the mat. If you're in the downward facing dog, you're lifting your thighs. Over time, you're pressing in more to that index finger and thumb, that almost suction-like gripping. Friends that have decided to take child's pose, you can meet us in downward dog whenever you're ready. Friends in the down dog shape will start to gaze to the thumbs. You'll bend the knees a lot, look forward, step, or however you travel the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Relax here. Inhale, we're coming all the way up. Nice big reach and rise up. Exhale, hands down to the low back. Bend the knees to set yourself up, and then lift and lean back. Really open your chest, but take your time. We'll get visited again. Exhale, big fold all the way down. Inhale, lift halfway. Let's add on here, shimmy the big toes together, little sliver of space between the heels. Take an in-breath, bend the knees, sit the feet really low, and now sweep your arms up. This is your Utkatasana. You'll gaze forward and slightly upward. The more you squeeze the legs together, the easier this will actually be. We'll kind of make the quads do it, but it'll take some of the pressure out of your back. So I promise I'm in it with you. If you can sit a little lower, I will sit a little lower. I can't see you if you're cheating, so it's fine. But take one more big breath. We're all really working the belly and working the legs. Inhale now, reach the arms up all the way up to standing. Woo-hoo. Exhale, fold, and you can always step one leg out to the side a little bit. Make some space for your organs, for your belly. Big fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, deeper folding as we breathe out. Inhale, lift up half. Exhale, two hands will come down. We'll step this left foot back. We have our right foot forward. Start to straighten in your front knee. Rebend your front knee. Plant your hand down and inhale. It's the right arm reaching up. You're twisting open. Exhale, right arm down to the mat. Inhale, let's reach both arms up as we find that crescent shape. See if you can soften somewhere. Press into your long leg a little bit more. Exhale, from here, we'll open into a warrior two. So spin your left heel flat. Your right foot can always shimmy to the middle of the mat. This will help you be a little more stable. Let's bring the hands into the heart and come out of the work a little bit. So you're almost straight in the right leg. There's a micro bend. Take a breath here out of the work. Feel your heartbeat. Exhale, open the arms. Find that warrior two as you sit deep in that front right knee. Your gaze right over your middle finger. You can even close your eyes, this internal gaze. Take one more big full breath in. As you breathe out, you can flicker your eyes open. Start to sweep your left arm forward as you come onto the left toes. So you're right back in that lunge where you started. I know it's not easy. It's fine if you wobble around. And now exhale, hands will lower down. Left hand plants. Reach that right arm open. It's that same twisting. Probably feeling different now. Exhale, right hand lowers down. Awesome. Step your right foot back. You're in high plank. Pause here for downward facing dog. Take an exhalation. Soften your head and neck. Inhale, gaze forward. Bend the knees and step or travel, hopping the feet forward. Lift halfway when you arrive. We're moving with the breath. Take an exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. If you lose your place, you might slow down. Exhale as your hands come down to the low back. Bend your knees to set up. Inhale, lift and lengthen as you shine the heart to the ceiling. Exhale, big fold. Hands down our legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Feel your belly lift. Take an exhale. You'll plant two hands down. You'll step your right foot back. Your left foot is forward. Start to straighten in your left knee. Relax your head here. Rebend your left knee. That ha. Plant your right hand down. Reach your left arm open to the ceiling, twisting. Exhale, your left hand comes down. You can bump up onto fingertips. It's the in-breath that reaches your arms up. You're in that crescent shape. Exhale, you open to warrior two. Your right heel spins flat. Shimmy your left foot to the middle. The in-breath reaches your two hands into the heart and come out of the work of that front left knee. You'll feel a little bit of release. As you exhale, open the arms and bend deeper in your front knee. If the eyes are closed, you'll flicker them open for balance. Start to sweep this right arm forward as you turn onto the right toes. You're right back in that crescent lunge. I know it's not an easy shape. Exhale, hands will come down. Right hand stays planted as your left arm rises, that twisting deeper. Exhale, two hands down onto the mat and step your left foot back. Pause and plank. Breathe here. Shall we chaturanga? Take an exhale. You can go knees, chest, chin, or bend the elbows. Come down just halfway. I'll do it with you. We'll hover, hover, hover. Inhale, roll over the toes. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog becomes that ha, that release. Let's come down onto the hands and knees. Walk or slide your hands forward and find that Anahata Asana. This is your heart-melting pose. Your hips should be stacking right above your knees here. This is gonna open the heart space a little bit more. So you could have child's pose, but if you're looking for the heart melting, then you wanna bump up onto fingertips so that you can find that lift in the chest. Inhale, start to lift your head, gaze to your fingers. Exhale, you'll bring your left forearm down. You'll bring your right forearm down. Go ahead and really pull the shoulder blades in towards each other and press through your left foot. Press through your right foot and gaze right towards your thumbs. So lift your belly a little. You would like to be in that plank shape, so you don't want to be dipped down too low or booty lifting too high. But either way, I know it's challenging, so just press through the heels. And as you exhale, lower the belly down. We'll uncurl the toes as the hips lower. Yes, you find that ha. Close your eyes, turn your head over to the left. Exhale as your chin rolls down towards your chest and your head over to the right. We'll go one more time over to the left. Soften your jaw and over to the right. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, chin lifts. This place is a place for options. So if you need a more restful approach to your Saturday morning, you will take pranam. This is my other favorite shape, where we just rest our hands right under our forehead like a pillow. Soften your heels and let the earth just give you some energy by lying here and receiving. So if you're taking pranam, I'll tell you when to move. You can enjoy that really for the rest of class if you want to. If you want a little bit more, you'll re-engage with the shoulders. Take a peek at your hands. Notice you want the number 11, so the elbows are really pulling in towards each other. You'll start to tuck the toes. It's an in breath that lets you lift your hips. You're right back in that plank. Press through the heels. And next in breath, keep gazing towards the thumbs. Walk the toes a little bit closer, closer, closer. So the more you press into the forearms, the easier it will be. The closer you walk the toes in towards your forearms, the easier it will be. You're in this dolphin plank. If you want to lift anything, then you can start to bend one knee and lift one leg. If you do that on one leg, you can come down to the knees and make sure you try it on the other. So if you bend the left knee and lift the right, you might even hop. You might even take a little hop. This is challenging to do and look away. But if you are hopping or finding that balance, gaze right in between your thumbs. I'll stay in dolphin with you for one more breath. And when you're like, whew, I am done, let the knees come down. You'll walk the feet out just a little so that we can meet our friends in pranam, lying down. Soften your head. Don't get too cozy. We'll only be here for a breath or so. Bend your knees. You can lift your feet into the air and shimmy the feet from side to side. We'll rest our feet back down onto the mat. We'll all start to move out of pranam as you're ready. Let's lift the chest. Hands will come under the shoulders. Most of us will use hands and knees to press into downward dog. If you're like, no, I'm really in the fire, then tuck the toes under, press right into your plank pose, and then find downward facing dog. Just releasing the head back. Let the neck soften. Inhale to gaze forward. Let's bend the knees. Let's travel the feet forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Take an exhale, nice big fold. Down we go. Inhale, big circle out and up. Reach the arms out and up. Exhale, everything comes into the midline, marrying those inner sides of the body. Hands will come down to your sides. Take a pause. Roll the shoulders back. Feel the gratitude, the heart beating quickly, the yes, I am alive in this moment sensation. All right, flicker the eyes open. Shimmy the big toes together if they're not. This little sliver of space between the heels. Take an exhale. Bend the knees. You're squeezing the thighs together. Sweep the arms up. We're right back in that Utkatasana, feeling the fierceness in the belly, feeling the ferocity in the legs here. So everything might start to shake if you're fully in it. The pinky tips are almost coming towards each other. You have this scooping sensation so that you can really feel the shoulders, the arms, all the way up the energy channels to the fingers. Inhale, lift and come up to standing. We have that. Whoo. Exhale, big fold, and you can always move one foot a little bit to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, your hands will come down onto the mat. You'll step your left foot back. Have that runner's lunge and straighten your right knee. Soften your forehead, the back of your neck. Inhale into your runner's lunge. You plant your left hand down. Sweep this right arm up as we twist it open a little more. Exhale, right hand down. Take an inhale to reach up. This is the crescent shape. Exhale, open into warrior two and shimmy this front foot. You'll start to feel that little dance. Come out of the work. Bring it all into the heart center. All that stuff we're building, bringing it in. Now exhale, expand. The warrior two feels a little better now. Gaze right over that front middle finger. Start to reach your left arm forward as you turn onto the left toes. We'll add one more shape here if you choose. So if you're adding on, start to gaze over the edge of the mat. As you come off of the back left toes, you'll sweep the arms back, and you are in warrior three with your back leg lifted, right foot planted, arms are long behind you, or whatever you love with the arms. Keep your gaze long, really press through your back foot as though it's standing on something. Exhale, bend your left knee, bend your right knee. Your left foot comes down behind you. Sweep the arms up. You're in that lunge. I know. Ooh, front leg's on fire. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Nice one. Left hand will plant. You can shimmy the legs if you get kind of out of place. Left hand will plant. Right arm rises up. Open up. Exhale, right hand comes down. Sweep your right foot back. You're in your high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Of course, you can add something if you love vinyasa. Shake your head. Shake your neck. Inhale, gaze to the thumbs. Bend the knees. The exhale brings the feet right behind the hands. Inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale, big fold. Down we go. Notice your breathing as you reach up and rise up. Feel the solid roots, your feet. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Hands down to the low back. This is your pretty big, deep back bend here. So you decide how far back you want to go. Exhale, big fold all the way down to the back. Inhale, lift halfway. Feel the thighs ignite. Exhale as you plant your hands down. You'll step your right foot back. Left foot is forward now. Right hand plants and reach your left arm up. It's that twisting. Exhale, left hand down. It can be on fingertips. Take an in breath to reach the arms up. Take an out breath to open into warrior two. Shimmy your front foot, your left foot to the middle of the mat. Inhale, bring your hands to heart. You start to straighten your front leg to come out of the work a little bit. Now rebend your knee, open the arms out wide. The gaze is what keeps us in the moment. Inhale now, sweep both arms forward as you turn onto those back right toes. You're in the lunge. If you're moving on, start to shift your gaze forward and down. You come off of that right foot as your hands sweep back. Let the gaze be the driver. That will help you from wobbling everywhere as you are in warrior three. You're pressing through your strong left leg and you're pressing through the right as though it's on something. Maybe it's pressing on the wall like crazy, right? Exhale, bend your left knee. Right foot will step down. Yes, inhale, reach the arms up. Ooh, breathe out to lower hands down. Let your right hand plant and reach your left arm. Take that nice big twist. Exhale, your hand comes down. Your left foot steps back. Let's do it. Let's vinyasa. Unless you're over me, you don't have to. But if you want the chaturanga, we're going halfway down. The inhale, find the upward, the Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. The Adho Mukha Svanasana is the downward facing. You'll take 3 breaths in down dog or 3 breaths in child's pose. If you're thinking to add on a little here, let's all bring the knees down. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked. This is your choice for support. If you're going a little more lunar variation, you're like, man, I am tired, then walk the hands forward. This will be another opportunity for that heart melting pose. If you would like a little bit more, we'll fire up our bellies just a little, and I'll do it with you so we can bring the forearms down. If you're in Anahata or you're in child's pose, just enjoy. Don't worry about whatever else might be happening in the world. We'll press through one foot, we'll press through the other, and we're right here in this forearm plank. So if you're thinking forearm plank with me, gaze to the thumbs. Always, I know we want to look back, but this really will not help us. Gaze to the thumbs. Start to walk the feet in a little closer. Press into the forearms like crazy. And then this is last time for this. So if you want it, one knee will bend. Say right knee bend. Lift the left leg. Let the left leg be straight. And just take 1 hop or 2 hops, whatever hops. But if one knee is bent and one knee is straight, I promise you, you will not fall over. So if you've done that and you need to bring knees down, you can always bring the knees down. And then we'll try one more time as we bend the left knee, right leg rises, gaze to the thumbs. It's 1 hop, 2 hops, or no hops, whatever. And then both feet come down, knees come down. Let's all come into child's pose. So even friends that are here in Anahata, let your hips come back. Bring your hands to your low back and give some pounding or some tapping, just some support to the low back. Even light massaging might feel good. When you feel pretty complete, you can just release the arms alongside the body. That can feel nice. Take an inhale. Let's start to lift our heads. We'll slide the hands forward. We'll come up onto hands and knees. Let's bring the knees right underneath us into a tabletop shape. Actually, let's come down onto our belly. So press through one foot and press through the other. This will just be for a moment, and lower all the way down onto your belly. When you get there, you'll bring your hands back and wide a little bit. So they'll probably be off of your mat and coming right out of the shoulder. The bumping up on the fingertips will give us some more space. Press your toe tips into the mat and lift your head and neck. This doesn't have to be a huge, crazy lift. Exhale, turn your right shoulder in towards the mat. And inhale, lift your chest. Turn your left shoulder in. You start to gaze over that opposite elbow. And then change sides. Every time you breathe out, it's that little twist. And every time we breathe in, it's that lift of the chest. If this feels very uncomfortable to the shoulders, then stay a little lower. And if you're low, you might just sway from side to side. There's no really right or wrong way. This is sahaja. This is spontaneous movement. So anything goes as long as you're breathing. You'd like the shoulders to start to loosen. We've got one more nice big full breath. We'll all come back to a center, so make sure you're evening yourself on both sides. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, lower down. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Ride your wave to down dog, so knees or not. And as you get to down dog, start to soften in your facial muscles. Do we have that gratitude still floating around? Yes, this is yoga. It's not serious. It just feels good. Inhale to gaze forward to the hands. Exhale to bring the feet right up behind the wrists. Inhale to lift halfway. Feel the belly lift here. Exhale, big fold down. Inhale, let's reach the arms out and up. Exhale, bring your hands down through the center line. Pause with hands down by the sides. We'll add on a little here. You'll gaze forward right over the edge of your mat. This will keep you from feeling super wobbly. As you inhale, you'll make a big circle out and up with the arms. And as you exhale, you'll zip up this left elbow right underneath the right. So you may be choosing to take just a hug of the body, or you may be choosing to wrap all the way one arm underneath the other, and you're also kind of wrapping the wrists here. So you decide, I'm either hugging myself with this left arm under the right, or I have this double bind going, and I'm gazing somewhere right off the edge of my mat. Take an exhale, bend your knees pretty deeply, and now lift your left leg and bring it on top of right. Notice that there's all these layers that you could choose. Your left toe might be kind of dangling in the air and you're squeezing your thighs together like crazy. If you feel super wobbly, that left big toe might touch the mat. I call it a little kickstand. It will still allow you to squeeze your arms and squeeze your legs together. If you really want to go for it, then you can try wrapping that foot. You have to sit really low to get that left toe wrapping behind the right calf. I know it's not easy. You gotta take one more nice big full breath. As you inhale, you'll unwind everything. Just open the arms and open the leg. Find this as you're kind of standing, exhaling. And let's take a fold. You can bend the knees, just big fold. Down we go. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, you'll turn your toes out, heels in. You may need to widen your stance and sit down low into a malasana. You're in your yogi squatting shape. Yes, hips are way more open now that we're warm. Notice if you can lean forward or back. These are just things that let you decide what feels good, or like, oh man, my ankles are still tight. Any feedback. Take an exhale as you release your hands down to the mat. You'll lift your hips up. Bring the feet right under the hips and fold on an exhale. In breath, reach the arms out and up, all the way up to standing. We'll go right back into the other side. It will be right arm underneath the left. You can take that double binding or that nice hug. You'll bend the knees a lot here, sit low like we do in that Utkatasana, and then right leg starts to lift and come on top of the left. That kickstand, that big toe just lightly resting can be really helpful, or you can reach for that double binding if you're feeling a lot of fire, you're feeling powerful. Squeezing arms together, squeezing legs together, checking, what am I gazing at? Am I breathing? These are all tiny, tiny refinements that'll start to happen. Take a big inhale as you open everything up. You get that, ah, yes, arms release, foot down to the mat. Exhale, we'll come right into our Malasana second time. So toes out, heels in, sit low, close your eyes. Feel the dancing of the breath when we move through the power and the ease. All the effort, and then release. Look at your eyes open. Bring your hands down to the mat. Lift your hips up and start to shake your head out. Take an inhale to lift halfway. We'll go for one more squatting shape, but we'll do it just a little bit differently. Your feet would like to be right under the hips. You do need a little bit of space here. You'll bend the knees really low and bring the upper arm bones right up to the knee bones. So when you get here, the hands can press in prayer. I don't know what's the best way to see. Yes, yeah, you got it. So hands will press in prayer and you'll gaze over the edge of your mat. This is not an easy shape. So this is conditioning the belly, conditioning the legs. This is also really challenging to the hip flexors and the mental focus. If you choose to stay here, this is a pretty powerful choice. If you want to add on, release the hands down. You feel awesome relaxation once the hands come down. Gaze right over the edge of your mat. You don't want to look at me because that will make you feel wobbly. So gaze right over the edge of the mat. Start to lean forward just a little bit. The elbows are bent. You can come up onto the tippy toes and you could lift one leg. You can bring that leg down and you can lift the other leg. So some friends will have a full crow pose where both legs are lifted. If that's not something you're working with, don't worry about it. You can be wobbly, but that gaze is what's doing it for you. So if you're like, man, this is a long time in crow, let the feet come down. And we'll go one more time to bring the upper arm bones right up to the shin bones. So just check it out. See how you feel. Hands come down. Start to lean forward. You'll lift one toe. You'll lift the other toe. Feel wobbly if you must. It doesn't matter. And then release the hands or release the feet. Step one foot back. And then the other. Nice work. Bring the knees down. Scoot the hands underneath the shoulders. So we have the wrists right under the shoulders. And lift your left leg. Just open the hip. Knee can bend. Circle 1 or 2 times in both directions. Soften in your head and neck. Left knee lowers down. Feel the belly lift. You want your belly to help you out here. And then do that right leg lifting. Couple of circles in both directions. Bring right knee down. Scoot your hands forward. Lift your hips high into the air. Without giving away too much of our future, this is our last downward facing dog. Whatever makes it feel stable and grounding. If your eyes could close for one breath, feel the breath all the way from fingertips, up the channels of the body, down the channel of the body, all the way to toe tips. Take your big toes together. You can open your eyes now. Take your big toes to kiss. Reach your right leg straight up and back. You can bend your knee and open your right hip if you love it. Just keep some weight in the right shoulder. Take one big hip circle. I like to come onto the left toes and take this big exaggerated circle and send your right knee all the way over to the right wrist. Ankle somewhere behind the left. This is your one-footed king pigeon pose. When you get here, a pillow or a something would be nice under your right hip. So if you're feeling like, man, I am a little bit stuck, pillow under the right hip is what will feel pretty releasing. If you can bring your hands beside you before you lower down, I know that's where we want to go, let it help you open your chest And now do the thing you want to do. Just go ahead, lower down. You can stack your two fists on top of each other so that you can rest your forehead. The hip is opening here. The hip is working here, but the neck and head do not have to be working. You can fully relax the jaw, swallow a couple of times. If there is inner dialogue, let it be. Ah, what a good body. Thank you. Take an inhale as you start to lift your chest. You'll bring your hands back behind or beside you. Bring all the weight over into this right hip and then just circle this left leg around so you're seated. If you're sitting on a pillow, you might stay on it. It might feel good. But if you want to move the pillow, you can also do that so both sits bones can be on the ground. Bring your right foot right into the left thigh and turn over this left leg. Your left leg's kind of to the corner of your mat. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up, really lift your chest. And as you exhale, take a nice big fold all the way over this left leg. If you did this with me yesterday, you might still be a little bit sore. So be nice to your spine and be nice to your leg, that left leg that's really working. Keep the grip of whatever you have and lift your chest halfway. So maybe you're gripping around the shin, but hold on, lift the chest, gaze to the big toe. And now exhale, one more nice big forward fold. This is as deep as it goes. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale here, come back up to seated and circle the arms out and up. We'll go for one more variation if you want it. Your right forearm will come, your left forearm will come either to on top of the left leg or to the inside of the left leg. I know you can't see it. So on top or inside. And this right arm will just start to reach up and over as though it was going to touch your left toes. So for me, that may never really happen. I have a lot of space here, but I can still feel all of those tiny spaces on the side of the right rib cage. So your gaze, I know you'll be turning away from me, but either gaze to the top elbow or gaze towards the bottom of your mat so your neck feels really long. And if you are someone who is very flexy, then yes, you could reach your right hand to the foot and really pull the chest through, really opening up. Inhale, let's lift our chest, reach the arms up. Ooh, exhale, fold, and then bring the feet, or excuse me, just come off of the feet. We'll come back into a down dog. So we'll come to sitting on the shins, placing yourself in your tabletop. You can move around if you love. If you need a wiggle or a waggle, and then down dog is where we meet. Big toes come together. Left foot will rise. You can bend the knee. You can open the hip here. And then exhale. Bring your knee over to the wrist and ankle over to the right wrist. Pillow or maybe blanket rolled up, just anything that you could stick under the hip will feel really nice to start to rest. Hands beside you. Exhale. Start to fold into your one-footed king pigeon pose. Breathe in and around your hip. Inhale, slowly start to lift your chest. Take an exhale, you'll do that same sensation. So just off to the left hip. Slide that right leg around. Maybe sit on a pillow or maybe don't. This is your choice. And then it's foot right into the thigh. You'll turn over your long right leg arms can sweep up and then melt, just melt the body over. So you're not really pulling or reaching. There's some place that can be soft when you fold. Clasp for whatever you're clasping, so foot, ankle, or leg, shin here, and lift the chest. We're gazing over the big toe. One more bigger fold. You could bend the elbows if you have so much space. The goal, if there is a goal, is to be so kind to the back of the body, the hamstring, the hip, the low back, the spine. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to release. We'll circle the arms out and up. Take an exhale as your hands come back behind you. You can bend your knees so that the heels can come onto the mat and just give those windshield wiper motions from side to side with the knees. I want you always to have the option to start going on your own cycle. So if you love back bends, if you love inversions, if there are things that you really wanted to do, then this is the time to do all of those things. If you're not sure, you don't have anything specific, then just reach the arms forward, roll on down to the back, hug the knees in, and you can start to find the finishing shapes with me. But if you start to circle the knees around from away and towards each other. But if you start to feel inspired, then do whatever you want to do. Reach for your happy baby if you love. Outer edges of the feet, outer edges of the ankles. Start to really open the sacrum here as you roll around on your side. Roll to the right, to the left. Happiest of baby is always smiling and not worried about really what they're doing. They're just exploring what feels good. Take an exhale as you hug your knees into the chest. Just one more time. Let's lift everything into the air, the feet and the hands, and give a little shake. This is moving all that fresh oxygenated blood around. So just that wiggle. My teacher calls this dead bug asana, so there's that. As you start to come out of that wiggling and jiggling, hug the knees into the chest. Of course, if you love back bends, this is your chance. You need some core work, this is your chance. If not, just open your right arm, kind of like a cactus shape or like that goalpost shape, and drop the knees over to the left. Gentle supine twisting. You can turn the head opposite your knees if you're going there, if you're making it a little deeper. Inhale, hug the knees in. Exhale, start to open that left arm, that cactus shape, and over to the other side. Nice open twist. You do want your shoulder to relax. You do want your mind to relax. Inhale, knees come into the chest. Exhale, one more time. Let's lift our head, lift our neck if it's okay for your neck, and just make this tiny little ball. Just really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze it all in. And now open everything into Shavasana. The palms will probably be faced up. The toes will flop out to the sides. There's really no work to be done. Give yourself 5 full breaths resting here. Gratitude for moving with friends. Gratitude to ourselves for being fluid and instead of latching on to old ways, we're being fluid. We're figuring out new ways. We're maintaining our connections together, and this means so much. All right, start to reach your arms up overhead. Reach your legs down really long. Take that nice big good morning stretch and roll off to your favorite side. Take your time to bring yourself back to a comfortable seat. Really, we have many, many breaths to get there. You could let your eyes stay closed if you choose. Usually we are ending with a breath together or with a sound of Om together. So if you're Oming, you can make that sound with me. You can also Om in your head. So we'll take one breath in and out first. Big inhale through the nose. Sigh. Ha. Receive your breath for Om. Inhale. I am so honored and I am so grateful to yoga with you. If those friends that are in a little bit of a rush are jumping